Thanks for joining me once again on the Chase Card, guys. Today I'm going to be looking at what I think are the top 10 booster boxes that every Pokemon sealed collector should be looking to add to their collection in 2024. Stick around to find out. Let's take a look. Alright guys, some of these booster boxes are not cheap. They're not all current booster boxes from the Scarlet and Violet era. Today we're going to look at some from the Scarlet and Violet era, some from the Sun and Moon era, and some from the Sword and Shield era primarily. So these sets, some of them are quite expensive, but I think still have a lot of growth in front of them. So diving in at the deep end, hold on to your hats because this one's quite pricey. The Ultra Prism booster box from the Sun and Moon era. This Ultra Prism booster box 12 months ago, let's have a look at the data. 12 months ago was $390 and currently sitting at $660. So it's about 170% gain over the last 12 months, this Ultra Prism booster box. So you would have made a significant profit had you purchased this 12 months ago. These are all American prices, so I apologize to my Australian friends. You're going to have to do the conversion on your own, but these are all American prices from tcgplayer.com. Ultra Prism $390 to $660 in the space of 1 year. If you look at that trend line, this thing is going north. There's no signs that this thing is slowing down. If we go back 6 months, you could have bought this 6 months ago for $480. Still quite pricey for a booster box, but again, sitting at $660 today. Quite a good investment if you ask me. Ultra Prism booster box. I understand if you can't afford to buy some of these, they're quite expensive, but these are just suggestions. You got to work out on your own if you can afford to park money in these things and let them sit there for years, and if you can't, don't make that commitment. This is a very expensive hobby to get into when you start accumulating booster boxes. This is just suggestions, okay? And if we look at some of the cards in the Ultra Prism set, these are really the cards that are carrying it. This Ultra Prism set from Sun and Moon era is really trainer gallery heavy. So the top 7 cards in Ultra Prism are all full art trainer cards. So really carrying this set of trainer cards. And you can see that top full art Lily at $450. The second chase card in this set, $264 for raw cards. And even the third most expensive card in Ultra Prism is $119. The fourth is $111. Top 4 cards over $100, and you've got the big chase card over $450 American dollars. So you can see these cards really carrying that set. So that's Ultra Prism. First one we're going to talk about today. Let's move on. Something much more current from the Scarlet and Violet era, Paldea Evolved. Now, there's not enough history to go on with this set yet. You can still buy this at the entry level price. This set has a lot of depth. I personally, if you've seen some of my other videos, you would know that I personally like Paldea Evolved. I think it's a great set to invest in. But you can pick this up for under $100 American. In Australia, I've been able to pick these up for 144 Australian dollars on sale, actually, at some of the smaller outlets over here. So I've got a few of these booster boxes in my collection. Granted, this is a very modern set. It could take a year, 2 years, 3 years to really spike in value. But this is one you can get in at an entry-level price. It's a really deep set, and I think it'll do well in the coming years. So that's Paldea Evolved. Some of the chase cards in Paldea Evolved. You've got the Iono, which I've done a video on top chase cards. If you want to check out my other video on top chase cards in Paldea Evolved, I'll put that up in the corner at the end of the video. But we've got that Iono, we've got the Magikarp, awesome card, and then the other Iono, the top 3 chase cards here. $80, $69, and $32 for the top 3 raw cards. Paldea Evolved. These are in no particular order. These are just my top 10 in no specific order. And we've got next the Paradox Rift booster box. This is another very, very recent set. So not enough long-term data to show proof of concept yet. But I think with the depth in this set, so there's no data over 6 months. Obviously, it's only a couple of months old, this set. Paradox Rift you can get under $100 American, about $90 American for the Paradox Rift booster box set. Great set, awesome hits. Of course, the big chase cards in there are the Roaring Moon EX and the Iron Valiant EX. The top 2 chase cards there, going at $73 and $41. Not that expensive, but again, a very new set. And if we just look here, the top 3, 6, 9 cards, the top 9 cards are all over $20. Even the top 10 cards are around sort of over $19, the top 10 cards. So quite a lot of depth in this set. Some sets you only get 1 or 2 big chase cards. You've got 10 cards there, all sort of north of $19, 27, 27. The Gold Angos over $35 raw. Paradox Rift, very new set. You may have to wait a while to see these gains, but I think this is going to be one of the ones from Scarlet and Violet that really perform well. So Paradox Rift booster box. Next we go into something a bit older, Unified Minds from the Sun and Moon era. Again, we get into some of the more expensive booster boxes. 1 year ago, this was just under $400 American for the Unified Minds. So if you're looking at this 12 months ago and you're thinking, man, I can't afford to spend $400 on a booster box. I could get 4 booster boxes from Paradox Rift for the same price and have change. Why would I spend $400 on this booster box? Then you go forward 1 year and it's gone from $400 up to over $650 in the space of 12 months. So that's what I mean. Some of these sets, quite expensive to get in, and you can say, do these more expensive ones sort of hit a ceiling and then slow down? I mean, possibly, but this has already shown proof of gains, proof of concept. So there's more reassurance in knowing we already know this is a good set. We already know it's performing well. We already know over the last 12 months, 6 months, it's going up in value. So there's more certainty. You have to pay for certainty sometimes. And if you were to buy this box today and hold it for 6 months, would you make money? I don't know. Maybe not. It might dip down a bit over the next 6 months. If you were to buy Unified Minds booster box and hold it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, would it do well? I don't think the Pokemon market's going anywhere. In fact, it seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think this would be a good investment to hold for the coming years. Unified Minds booster box. Some of the big chase cards in Unified Minds. You've got that Misty's Favor, which is over $160, the full art trainer card. And next you've got that Mewtwo and Mew GX. Awesome card, that Mewtwo and Mew. $150. Then the next one we've got $130. So you've got the top 4 cards all over $100. I think Misty's Favor, let's have a quick look at Misty's Favor. I think it has dropped a little bit. The big chase card has dropped down a bit from 185 to 160. I'm not going to get into that specifically, but the booster box is defying all the odds anyway. Sometimes these singles cards drop in price, but the booster box keeps going up in price. So there is value in keeping products sealed. So that's Unified Minds. Next we have Team Up, another expensive booster box, very expensive booster box. And look, I don't blame you if you can't afford this booster box. I really can't. I'm not about to go and spend $3,500 Australian dollars or $2,000 American dollars on one booster box. I'm not about to do it. If I had the spare money, I would definitely pick this up. I'm just not about to buy it. But this is a suggestion. This is still in my top 10 for a reason. If I can afford to dump some money on it this year, I will. But it is very expensive. But money to be made here, I think, on this one. Team Up booster box has gone from under $1,000 12 months ago to $2,000 today. So it's doubled in price in 12 months. That's $1,000 gross profit you would have made in 12 months. Is it expensive to get into? Yeah. It's got a high entry level point. Very popular set. Huge chase cards. Again, I think if you were to hold this for a few years, you could really make some big money off this set if you can afford to pick it up. If you can't afford to dump that sort of money on a Pokemon set, I don't blame you. But there is some gains to be made here, some big capital gains, I think, with a Team Up booster box. That's why it's made the list. And here you can see some of the chase cards in Team Up. Obviously, you've got that very famous Latias and Latios alternate full art coming in at over $700 raw for one card. Next, you've got that Gengar and Mimikyu GX, which is $276. The Magikarp's over $260. So the top 3 cards in this Team Up set, all over $200, and that Latias over $700. Really, really carrying this set. Then you've got a bunch of others here over $100. I'm not going to get into all the chase cards now, but that's the Team Up booster box. If you can afford it, great pickup, and if you can't afford it, I don't blame you. Next, something more recent from the Sword and Shield era is the Lost Origin booster box. Now, this thing did dip in price a bit when it got that big reprint. But I don't think this one has that much depth, to be honest. It is a bit of a fan favourite, this set. I don't think it's got that much depth. However, the Giratina card in this set, which we're going to get to, is really carrying this set. Lost Origin is a fun set to open. It has got some hits in there. It is fun to open, and I think it would do well in time. Once it sort of starts going out of rotation a bit more, you see the price start to tick up. If we go back 3 months, you can see it's already shown some signs of improvement, going up from $128 to $140 just in the last 3 months. More of a slow burn, this one, but I think when it does take off, it'll do so pretty significantly in the next 12 months or so. So Lost Origin booster box, get it in your collection if you don't already have it, pick some up. And here's some of the chase cards from Lost Origin. You've got that Giratina at $247. The next one is the Aerodactyl at $86, and then we dive down to like $30, $28, $20. So the top 5 chase cards all over $20. Like I said, personally, I don't think this set is that great. It hasn't got that much depth, but that Giratina really is carrying this set. It is a fun set to open, and I think over the coming years, Lost Origin definitely needs to be in your booster box collection if you're a sealed collector. Chilling Reign. I regret opening some of this, even though I did pull a lot of good hits and I got some graded 10s out of this set. I do regret opening these booster boxes. I don't have many left in my collection, and these have done really well. The Chilling Reign booster boxes got so many hits. Fun set to open, great set to keep sealed as well. Over the last year, Chilling Reign has gone from $135 to $160. So it hasn't gone up that significantly over the last 12 months, though it is ticking upwards. If we go back 6 months, it's up slightly on the 6 months, and in 3 months, it's up slightly as well. So 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, Chilling Reign is on the way up. There's no reason for it to go down. Great set to have in your sealed collection. You can pick this up about $300 Australian still. So for all my Aussie viewers, go get some Chilling Reign. This thing will, in my opinion, I think this will crack 500 by the end of the year. If I'm wrong and it takes until next year to crack 500, big deal. Get this in your set before it gets too expensive to pick up. Chilling Reign. And here's some of the cards from Chilling Reign. You got that Blaziken VMAX and the Galarian Moltres VMAX. Galarian Moltres V, not VMAX. And then that Snorlax Gold. That's actually my favourite card in the set. About $70 raw. The Snorlax Secret Rare Gold card. Awesome card. But there's some of the hits from Chilling Reign. You can see why it's a popular set. You've got 3, 6, 9 cards there, all up over $30. The top 12 cards are all over $20. So it's got some depth in the set. Next, Astral Radiance. This set was heavily overlooked. Bit of a sleeper set. Astral Radiance was one of the how can I say it? Astral Radiance was really knocked by a lot of collectors. They were not excited to open Astral Radiance. It just was a boring set. For a long time, people didn't care about Astral Radiance. But it didn't get that big reprint that we saw Silver Tempest and Lost Origin get, for example. Astral Radiance didn't get that big reprint. And I think that scarcity factor, there's sort of a couple of reasons like these boxes got. There's popularity, depth, and then there's sort of scarcity. For example, if you look at the Rebel Clash Elite Trainer box, Rebel Clash had terrible hits. But the scarcity, it didn't get the big reprints. That Elite Trainer box is like 300 Australian bucks now. I think it's about 200 American dollars for an Elite Trainer box for 8 packets of nothing. So Astral Radiance kind of has that scarcity to it. It didn't get that big reprint. And I think if you buy this booster box, Astral Radiance, it's not going to shoot the lights out, but you definitely need it in your collection. If you haven't got it yet, go pick it up. This thing's going to do well in the coming years, I think, the Astral Radiance booster box. I'd even pick up an Elite Trainer box if you can. They're everywhere. They're not hard to find cheap, but I think in time they will still do well. So that's Astral Radiance, and some of the chase cards in there are that Machamp. That Machamp V is the big chase card at $83. And then you've got the top 6 cards are all over $20. The top 7 cards are all over $20 in Astral Radiance. You got that Starmie V at $38. The Origin Form Palkia over $30. It hasn't got that really big chase card like you get from Lost Origin or Chilling Reign. But I mean, the Machamp at under $100 for the big chase card, it's not that exciting. But it's got some fairly decent hits, and again, it didn't get that reprint. Get some Astral Radiance into your collection. Moving on, Evolving Skies. Now, we all know the history of Evolving Skies. The best set, hands down, to come out of the Sword and Shield era. This thing has just shot the lights out. Everyone knows it. It's probably the most expensive booster box from Sword and Shield. Well, it definitely is. And if we go back 12 months, this thing was $280, and now selling for just under $500 at $470. So if you picked this up 12 months ago, you might have thought it was expensive then, but it keeps producing. It keeps proving that it's going to keep going north. Again, will it slow down soon? Maybe. But there's just so many hits in Evolving Skies. If we go back 6 months, this thing was 440. It's had a couple little dips in the last 6 months, but again, sitting around $475 to $480. If you can afford an Evolving Skies, go pick one up. Tons of hits in there. Terrible, terrible pull rates. Not that much fun to open. Get some in your sealed collection if you can afford it. This thing's going to keep doing well. And you can see here the top chase card is obviously that Moonbryon, $540, followed by the Rayquaza VMAX at $240. Even that Leafeon's $160. So you've got your top 5 chase cards in Evolving Skies all over $100, and the top chase card is over $500. So this set has just got so many hits. You got the top. What do we got? The top 12 hits are over $50 in Evolving Skies. So yeah, plenty of fun to be had in that set. Get it in your sealed collection, but do not open it. It's very hard. The pull rates are very hard. It's unlikely you're going to pull something that justifies opening that booster box, but get it in your sealed collection. Last but not least, Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike. I think early on this one was a bit overlooked also. In America, this is around between $140 and $150. Over here in Australia, that would equate to about $250, but you can still pick it up here in the land down under for $190 delivered to your door. So Fusion Strike, obviously that big Gengar is carrying this set. It's got a few hits in here, but initially Fusion Strike was overlooked. If we go back 1 year, $130, and it's only up to $140. So we haven't got massive gains in the last 12 months. But you can still pick this thing up off shelves. But once this is no longer on retail store shelves, I think it will do really well in the coming 12 months. I think Fusion Strike will personally get to over $200 this year, American, which is not a huge gain, but it's still quite a recent set from the Sword and Shield era. Still sitting on shelves, like I said. If we go back 6 months, it's pretty flat on the 6 months, but it's not going to stay that way. This thing's going to climb. Pick yourself up a Fusion Strike booster box. And there's that Gengar VMAX, over $200 in the raw form. $122 for the Espeon VMAX. And then you've got that Mew VMAX, $63. The Mew VMAX Secret Rare, $30. And it starts going down under, $27, $26. But your top 8 chase cards are all over $20. So it has got a little bit of depth compared to some of the other sets. But yeah, that big Gengar VMAX, that crazy Gengar, that's what this set's really all about. And Fusion Strike, awesome set. Get it in your collection, but do not open it. Opening a Fusion Strike booster box is painful. Trying to get hits out of this thing, the pull rates are terrible. I'm going to be honest, the pull rates are terrible. This is not a fun set to open. Get it in your sealed collection, leave it there, don't touch it, and just wait. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time on the Chase Card. Bye for now.